Blankets feel like super glue in the morning? Well, sis, it's time to shake them off. Welcome to Wake Up Happy Sis, the show that jumpstarts your day with a bang. We're strolling down these self-care streets as we navigate the maze of wellness and healing. We're helping you live happy, healed, and whole. And we do it all with a hearty dose of belly laughs for good measure. Stay tuned and get ready to wake up happy, sis. All right, welcome. Our Instagram. You know, Instagram always likes to act up, Sharon. I don't know why it wants to act with me today, but we're not having it. We're not having it today. Let me get Instagram on its happy notes, so all of our Instagram followers can come on in the room. But welcome everybody. Oh my God.
It still says scheduled, not live.
This is live, not Memorex, baby.
Okay, just checking.
This is live, not Memorex. How you should know we live. You right here with me. So that's what happens when it's a live show, ladies and germs. When things can go wrong, they will. But we just go ahead and fix it real quick. So I want to welcome you all to another fabulous day here at the Wake Up Happy Sis Show. I am your host with the most, your girl Leanne Dose, Chief Self-Care Officer at Wake Up Happy Sis. I got my fabulous co-host with me, Sharonda. And today we're talking about the art of balancing professional and personal wellness. Okay. So we're going to guide you through the intricate dance of juggling your professional demands and the importance of your personal well-being. We're definitely going to have some wonderful insights because we are joined by stress management coach Donya Smida, who will uncover practical strategies to seamlessly integrate self-care into your hectic schedule. So I want you to make sure, you know what we do here, grab your favorite mug of something. Get comfortable, get cozy if you're not working today. You know, I always got my love mug ready to go. And get ready to wake up happy sis with us, right? All right, let's bring Donya on up. Welcome, Donya. How are you today?
Hello, hello. Good
Good morning.
morning. How are you doing?
Yes, so
Absolutely. Awesome.
fabulous. Today is such a great day, even though the weather here is not really all that jazzy right now. But I just woke up with such a joy and happiness. One, I did not have my 6:30 a.m. meeting this morning. It got canceled. So I got to sleep in like an extra 20 minutes. So I woke up extra happy today. So
Awesome.
yes, and Sharonda's over there with her hour-long walk, getting it in.
Getting them miles in, girl. I'm taking charge of myself and de-stressing. So I gotta get out there and move around before I have some flares with RA and all of the things. So I much rather
Mm-hmm.
stay in motion and moving while I can and
But
stuff.
because an object in motion wants to stay in motion. And that's what we got
Mm-hmm.
to do. So, Donya, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself before we jump into our topic today?
Yes. So I'm Donya. I'm a mom of three, and I used to be in corporate for 17 years. So I was on top of the performance of the unbalance, and I was
Mm-hmm.
all in my professional words, achieving goals and so on. And I felt something is wrong. I needed to do something else of my life, to have a more balanced life, to take care of my kids, take care of myself. So I moved to coaching. I'm a stress management coach, and I'm happy to be here today to speak about the balance between personal, professional well-being.
Yes, yes. And so, with you being in Tunisia, is there a big difference in how you kind of view kind of professional, or how professional wellness is seen by like your employers and the businesses there. In the United States, I feel like we're starting to get companies that are putting more of a focus on the wellness of their employees. But I feel like the higher we go up the executive scale, the less emotionally intelligent sometimes they are. And so it's more a value of numbers versus a value of people and their health and wellness and happiness. What do you what's it like in Tunisia?
I think it's a worldwide like awakening after the COVID, where we saw that a lot of people are suffering from the health perspective and how this affected directly their work. After COVID, with working from home, changing habits, there was like an awakening. However, you're totally right. The more you climb the ladder, the more they expect from you to be the top
Yeah.
performer, and they don't see necessarily that the company is responsible of your well-being beyond working hours.
Yes.
And it's the person that itself that needs to go and look for this balance. I saw some companies integrating now concrete actions to improve the well-being of their employee, but it's not something that is like spread in many companies, I'm afraid.
Hmm. I definitely agree. I know it's kind of becoming more important, I think, because especially coming after COVID, a lot of people got used to being at home, being less in less stressful, sometimes less stressful environments, being able to have a greater balance, or I don't even say balance, harmony between their work life and their home life. Um, so going back into an office, facing hour-long commutes in horrible traffic, dealing with um, tense office environments and microaggressions, a lot of people didn't want to go back. So I think for those who've had to go back, or those who never even got the time to be off because they were essential workers, I think this show is extremely important because we do have to have a better balance between our career ambitions and being that driven, super driven, everything is about my career. But you get there and you realize your life has been just surviving because you're always so focused on go. You've never stopped to focus and take care of self. So I definitely want to talk a little bit about that, about the importance of professional wellness, and make sure that we're kind of giving you guys all the good tips, techniques, maybe some outside the box thinking to get you realizing that wellness and your professional endeavors can go hand in hand. They can live like this, but sometimes you have to make some hard decisions for your life, right? You heard Donya say that she got to a place where she was very driven, very ambitious, very career focused, and realizing that something was missing. I think Sharonda, then when before she um, retired, was feeling the same way. When I was in corporate America, I was 100% feeling the same way. And so understanding how important it is for us to figure out what our balance is, and if it's imbalanced, how do we get it back in alignment? So let's start with a question. All right, so what are ways that people can kind of create a more positive work environment if their company does not invest in wellness programs? So the company doesn't offer wellness programs. What are some things that I, as employee X, can do to kind of create a more positive and harmonious work environment?
Excuse
So
me.
Very important question, because we will always look for solution from external. What is my employer doing for me? What is my partner doing for me? What is my family doing? What you can also find the solution within you and you put it in place.
Yes.
So you don't wait for others to find the solution for you. This is the first mindset. I want people really to look at things inside them. They don't need others to find the solution for them. So this is the first thing. And just to come back to one thing that you said, Leanne, before, after COVID, a lot of people did not want to go back to their work because it was a different environment. It's because we stopped and we thought we were thinking on what we like and what we don't like in life. We were not in that train heading somewhere that we don't know necessarily where it was heading. We needed to stop. And that stop allowed us to rethink really our priorities.
Yes.
Some of the people, they have a priority that is maybe family. Maybe it was freedom, a value of theirs that they forgot about it. And when going back to their normal job, they found that there's a discrepancy between what they used to do and their values. So I invite you all now, as a second step. The first was not to expect others to find solutions for you. You can find your own solutions. The second is stop and look, what are your values? What are the core values you want to, that are part of your DNA? What is your the psychological skeleton that you have? For me, for example, it was freedom of choice, education, and equality. For me, these are the three values that run my life. So I went to nurture those values. So I'm not telling you to quit your job. I'm just telling you, find out what are your values, and you might nurture them during the week if you have a job that nurture your value. If your job is not nurturing your value, find an activity once a week, every second week. Example, if adventure is one of your values and you have like a 9 to 5 job every day sitting in the office, no adventures, no surprises, nothing. Just take one Sunday, one Saturday to go for adventure. Maybe you can take some family with you. Whatever is right for you, just nurture your values. You will already feel so much better, and you will not expect that from your job. It's okay to have a job that is not nurturing your values. It's okay, but you have to find another thing that will nurture your value. I have other tips, but I like to explore more during the discussion. Maybe I can give those two, and then we can go on in the discussion, and maybe it will uncover other important things to the audience.
Yes. So I think for me, I am always about advocating for what you would like to see in your environment. So if they don't have wellness programming, that does not mean that you cannot advocate for wellness programming at your company. You can also form your own employee support groups. Find others who want to walk with you during lunch, right? Um, Meet with, start creating meetings that happen during lunch. Talk to your management team about the company supporting 1 hour a month for you guys to have a employee resource group meeting, right? Talk to your colleagues and kind of nurture that network that you have around you. I definitely believe in starting there. But if you've gotten to a point to where you realize this company does not um, honor my values, honor who I am, what I want to see, it does not invest in its employees, then it might be time for you to look for somewhere else. Now, with that being said, do not go and quit your job before you have a new one. Okay. Be strategic about it. If you find that this is not an environment that is helping you, that is nurturing you, that is has more toxicity and microaggressions, then first you start from working from within. But if it doesn't, don't be afraid to move. Don't be afraid to move. Don't be afraid to go somewhere new. Yes, you might have to start over, but you might also get a better pay raise, better benefits, a more harmonious work environment. For me, I would even potentially take a little bit, we said little, of a pay cut to have more harmony and more benefits, because the benefits end up adding into more money, if you will, because it's much cheaper for me to be healthy than it is for me to be unhealthy, stressed out, having to go to the doctor, having heart complications, all of that, because we're not taking care of ourselves and we're letting these external factors stress us out. So,
For me, for me, I agree with what you just said, Liam. But to let's talk about some numbers.
yes.
Is what I do. Uh, so when I left in when I retired in 2022, I was making $88,000 plus bonuses each year as a federal employee as a GS-12, and I was unhappy because I was driving the hour. I was the one and only black female. There was a whole lot. There was the leadership before the pandemic. We had this thing called fitness, where you could take off an hour of your work day 2-3 times a week to go and do physical fitness stuff, like go to take check into one of the local gyms or go for a walk or whatever. But see, where you have management issues that are micromanagers, and they think that fitness is a privilege instead of a way to keep their employees healthy by allowing them the free time to decompress and all of the things. They actually took fitness away from us during the doggone pandemic. Make it make sense now.
It
If
doesn't
you
make.
care about me as your employee, why would you take away something that's good for me?
Mm-hmm.
See, it's the mind games that I don't miss. And when I was in a paperwork shuffle for about 18 months, and at the end of the day, my retirement was denied. And I was told by a counselor, oh, well, you're still in good standing, so you can just go back and take a huge pay cut and start back off as a GS6. I'm
Well,
like, what sense does that make? And so the thing about people that are working, I've tried to impress upon my peers about maxing out their investments through the job. We have something here, Donya, where it's called TSP, Thrift Savings Plan for Federal Workers. And when you max it out, the more you contribute, the faster it grows. And when you're making decisions like that, you want to make them as soon as possible, preferably when you first started your career, because you don't know how life is going to turn out, and you're not going to know that you're going to wake up one day and can't do the job anymore for X amount of reasons, and that was me. And so when all of the smoke cleared and all of the paperwork settled, um, they denied my retirement because the doctors did not restrict me in my workload in any kind of way. So the government decided, well, you can still go to work. Oh, but I'm not going back to work, and I'm not going back to start all over again. So the I can live without that 48,000 dollars, because the thing that I gained was the peace of mind, the stress free,
Yeah.
The higher level of self care, the travel, the and figure out ways and figuring out myself after taking off my corporate attire or mentality or retiring, like literally walking away from the job because I won't be able to get at my retirement until I'm 60. I'm 52 right now, which is fine because the level of peace that I have is so crucial and vital. I can't go back to work for anybody else.
Right. And that's the
So
difference.
I made myself unemployable.
Well, that was the thing that I realized when I left corporate America, and became a consultant and started
Hmm.
working independently with companies. I realized that I was never really happy in those other environments. I was not meant to be an employee. And that's nothing against being an employee, because they're very much needed. But everybody, just like everybody isn't meant to have a business and be an owner and be a boss, right? We need that balance. But for me, what I had to realize in my life was I was morbidly obese. I was unhappy. I was putting on this face for everybody else, right? I was tired of working twice or three times as hard just to be seen as an average employee when I was above average in most aspects, because that's what I was taught I always had to be as a Black woman trying to make it in tech, which is a white male dominated area, right? So I had to make a choice, and I had to decide, was I going to choose them or was I going to choose me? Was I going to
Self preservation is always the key.
yes, was I going to continue to let them drive my happiness, because I realized my happiness was tied to what I was getting from this job, not tied to my own internal sense of self-worth. So I had to look at myself, right? And say, how can I be the best person I'm going to be? And what I had to do, and this is my recommendation for others, is start by setting boundaries. Right?
Hmm.
Know your boundaries. Communicate your limits with people clearly. Learn how to prioritize your tasks, because sometimes we're working, working, working. And at the end of the day, have you ever worked so much and at the end of the day feel like you got nothing accomplished? Like, God, what have I been working on?
And you were in the office when that happened. Not at home teleworking. You were in the office when that
In the
happened.
office.
Yeah.
Yeah. And learn to say no. No is a full sentence. Sometimes it's
Hmm.
necessary for us to say, I cannot take on this new project. I cannot help you with your work. I cannot, I cannot, I cannot. It's okay.
Exactly. And according to statistics as well, one employee out of two is recognized for their achievements.
Hmm.
It means that 50% of people are just working without being recognized for what they do. And I suspect it's much more, but this is the official. And this is very important. If you are in corporate today and still thinking, should I stay, should I not stay? At least you start by expressing what your achievements are. It's
Yeah.
not only for you to have more self-confidence, self-worth. It's only for others to give them inspiration. Maybe you can be an inspiration for one of your colleagues. And the
Yeah.
third is also that your supervisor also know all what you have done as achievements. It's very important to express them to yourself, but also to others. And
Mhm.
as Liane said, why don't you do this in a group once every second week? You have half an hour with some colleagues. Each one shares his accomplishment of the last past 2 weeks. It's not only empowering for you, but you will also feel the satisfaction, and it will help you to have a better environment, work environment.
Yes.
And to go back to boundaries, I was also that person that wanted to please everyone and thinking that a no is offensive, people will hate you. There is ways to start learning it and expressing it and saying it with a smile, so it doesn't not hurt others. So set boundaries in your work, set boundaries with partner, with your family, with bigger social environment, but also with yourself. For example, if you promise yourself a treat, if you promised yourself to go to sport to feel or a spa, do it. You have to respect yourself as well. Don't put yourself at the last. So for me, boundaries are around several areas. So concretely, ask yourself, what do I not accept in work, with my partner, with my family, with my social environment, and with myself? And you will have the response for your boundaries and express them. Of course, you have to communicate. Otherwise, how can people know what are your boundaries if you don't express them?
Yes. And the first boundary you have to set is with yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first boundary you have to set is with yourself, because you have to know what is and what is not acceptable in your life, in your work, and in your personal life. Because we're not just talking about at work, right? We're not just talking about at work. We're talking about at home. Because when there's imbalance, stress, a lot of anger, whatever that's in either environment, it normally spills over. Work, you're bringing it home, or your problems at home are affecting your productivity and your ability to be present at work. Another tip that I say, and so I just want to acknowledge, Be More Humble Crafts says she stepped out on faith and jumped into uncertainty and just kept swimming forward. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. It is wonderful to step out on faith, and that's scary as hell. It is scary as hell to step out on faith and not know if it's going to go one way or the other. But I'm proud of you for doing that, because that's how we get out of this rut of not knowing which is better, which is higher, what opportunity should I take. That's how you align your personal mission, your life mission, with your values, with your work-life balance or harmony. We have to step out on faith sometimes, but we also have to practice mindfulness, right? Are you present in the situations at work, right? Are you just checking, do like a body scan? And when something stressful comes up, I'll take a minute. I have to step back and take a minute to myself and just scan what's happening when these stress triggers come in. Where am I feeling it in my body? Right? For me, sometimes I'll get headaches, or you might start having an anxiety attack, and looking at what are some things that you can do in that moment to help calm and center and ground you. It might mean, hey, Sharonda, come with me for a walk on our little 15-minute break, right?
Absolutely.
But being present, knowing how your body responds to stress and to the different triggers that are going to come at you. Every day at work isn't going to be honky dory, right? But knowing how your body responds, not judging it, not feeling like I'm really angry right now and you feel bad about being angry. We're not judging it. We're just trying to understand what's going on in our mind, our body, and our spirit when this stress and these triggers come to us. And then for me, I'll do mindful breathing. I've used this to help with pain reduction, with grounding, centering, and focusing for me. And it's really just about sometimes doing a 1 minute little breathing exercise where I close my eyes and I'll be at the middle of my desk. Don't come and talk to me right now. If you got an office, close your door. put a sign out that says you're unavailable from this time to this time, so that you can just practice some stress management um, and mindfulness activities to help bring you back to focus and to center. I think that's one of the things that really helped me on some days, because I've had days where I wanted to quit. And this is as a consultant. This was in my consulting when I first started. Um, the boss had hired this new manager, and he was a complete asshole. And I say that unapologetically. And I told her, it's you're either going to fix him or I'm going to quit. And I've been here way longer than he has. But once I realized, okay, maybe it's my response to him, we can only control how we respond to things. So sometimes you have to look and see, what is the part I'm playing in my own stress, in my own anger, in my own hurt? Where am I hurting my own feelings or pissing myself off? And
Clack, clack.
look, I got my fan for you.
Thank
I
you.
got my fan ready at all times. But what I realized is once I made that change and I made a shift in how I responded to him, his response to me had to change too. Now, she also did talk to him, but within the next 3 months, he and I were like the best of friends. So I say that to say is you can change and turn around any situation, right? You have to first start with being mindful, looking at what you can do to ground center and refocus yourself, but also look at how you're responding to the stimulus that is coming at you. Are you responding in a negative way that is putting a lot more negative energy out into the world? Or are you trying to be empathetic and realizing that people may also have some other things going on that may impact how they show up, that might be impacting how you're showing up? So I always try to give people first the benefit of that doubt. But if you continue down that path, then we will have a problem and I will stand up for myself. But
Mm-hmm.
the goal is always first to try to understand, to try to relate, and resolve the conflict. So that's the goal at all times.
Totally agree. I think what you just said, it's about two things, very important. First, you cannot change others. You might try, but don't spend too much energy to change others. Act on the things that you can control.
That's right.
And it's you. So this is I get so much stress before when I'm stuck in traffic, because you will start, why did I quit at that time? I know there's traffic. Why did I take this route? What? All those are stories. Come back to that moment and acknowledge that you're just stuck in traffic. You can do and there you do the mindfulness, you come back to that moment, you scan your body. Don't tell yourself stories that they will only stress you more. And the second point you were telling that is very interesting is something that I do often is when somebody stresses me or hurts me, I know something inside me get hurt or triggered. So I have to check in me, what is the thing that still needs like healing, needs work, needs to be highlighted. It's not about the person anymore. He or she are not important anymore. I'm the most important one at that moment. What happened to me? I acknowledge it.
Clack, clack.
I don't start to tell myself stories. And then maybe there's something that I need to learn.
Yes. Now, I completely agree with that. One of the things that I think We have to do, especially if you're an overthinker like me. I will overthink the hell out of a situation. If Sharonda came in to the show one morning and she did not greet me the way she normally does, hold up, Sharonda, what's going on? You don't like me no more? You about to quit? You about to? So your mind will play a lot of games with you if you're,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're an overthinker, and you take just the fact that she just came off an hour long walk and maybe she's a little tired in this moment, or something may be happening. She may not be feeling her best, but an overthinker, we start to internalize every little thing that somebody else does as a personal attack to us. You have to heal yourself and stop hurting your own feelings with the things that your mind's going to tell you, because it will play all the games with
Hmm.
you and have you thinking you are downright crazy. Like, what is wrong with me? Right? But you have to heal that, because there is somewhere in your past, in your history, where you got the understanding that people are going to change up on you, that they're going to leave you, that they're going to hurt you. And so you started being hyper vigilant to watch out for those things, right? Because we check patterns. If a person does this, this, and this, well, that's what my dad did and he left. That's what my mom did and she left. She died. She walked out, whatever,
He's really good.
right? So we have to heal self first. And sometimes that
Mm-hmm.
means we need to tap into those employee assistance programs, because
Mm-hmm.
most health plans include counseling, therapy, some sort of mental and self wellness support that's outside of your normal just doctor visits. But you may need to go to the doctor too, because you may have vitamin deficiencies or other things that are going on in your body that you may need some sort of medicine or some sort of other regimen to help bring them back into alignment. But we can't do that if we don't reach out for help. So when you see things happening and you're like, I don't know what's going on, it's okay to talk to a professional about it. We have to get past that stigma that we have to be perfect, that we can never have any weakness, nothing can ever be wrong in our life, especially if you're the strong one in your family or you're the one that everybody relies on. We don't often get to feel like we can be weak, we can be vulnerable, we can be hurt, or we can just not have the damn answer. Sometimes you need help. Sometimes you need help. Before we move
Well,
on,
it
I got
could be that you. Go ahead.
oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say sometimes you're part of your own problem with the
Mm,
overthinking things. And like you said, I just got back home. It's nothing against you. I am like when I'm coming in hot, I'm trying to hydrate and get something to eat and
mhm.
shower before the show. But today it didn't work out that way. So I'm going with the flow and not overthinking it. But where you're concerned, she ain't speak to me like she normally did. What did I do wrong and all of the things? It's not even like that, ma'am. Get out of
Yeah,
your own head. You're
exactly.
not what you think.
That's it. That's it. We have to realize that everything is not a personal attack on you. Sometimes people have other things that are going on in their life, and we have to be empathetic and try to look at things sometimes from somebody else's perspective. I've I've totally turned around relationships with people at work, my personal relationships, because I stepped out of my own feelings, right? Because you have to know when your feelings are valid or when your mind may be giving you thoughts, feelings that are triggers from pain and they're not real. You're not going based on quote unquote fact. You're just going based off of that past hurt or pain. So we're going to take a quick little pause for the cause. You are tuned into the Wake Up Happy Sis Show on KCCR Cityscape Radio, where we're changing the narrative for our people because we're telling our stories our way. We'll be right back after this. Hey, sis. Ever feel like you're on the verge of a meltdown? Are you overwhelmed from juggling your job, your family, and trying to fit in me time, but seriously dropping the ball on that last one? Guess what? You're not alone. Introducing the Burnout Recovery Kit. It's your 14-day lifeline to go from burnt out to lit up. Get ready to reclaim your joy, energy, and that I got this attitude. Grab your free ebook, a purpose-driven workbook, daily email prompts, as well as SMS boosters and Q&A sessions. It's like a spa day for your soul, and guess what? It's totally free. Don't waste another minute feeling drained. Go to officialburnoutrecoverykit.com right now and kickstart your transformation. The Burnout Recovery Kit, because you deserve to be at the top of your own to-do list. Don't just cope, thrive, sis. Hey, we're back. I need to load up I keep saying I'm gonna load up the full song so that you guys can hear. I do have my own theme song. So that music you heard in the background of that commercial, you will never hear anywhere else because that was made for me, for my business, by the son of a very famous musician. So and his son was very talented as well. So I want to move on because I want to talk about how can we, because now we're getting into the part where we're giving them the real nitty gritty, right? How can we integrate self-care into our busy schedules, right? We're used to going from pillar to post, moving, shaking, running. We've got kids that we've got to get to soccer practice. We've got to get to dance recitals. We've got husbands or spouses and partners that require attention. We've got community, we've got work and or our own businesses that we're trying to run. So we feel like we don't have time to focus on our own self-care and wellness because we're so busy taking care of everyone and everything around us. But I want us to dive into some practical tips for how we can
I have
integrate
one.
self-care into our schedule. Well, hit me with it.
So, because the commute was the worst part of my day and it gave me the most aggravation, I decided that since I had to get out there and drive anyway, I can control how I feel heading into the dungeon, so to speak. So
Mhm.
I started. I have worn out my Audible's audio book app, my Spotify app with all kinds of different kinds of podcasts that make you laugh, make thought provoking, mystery, blah blah blah. And I find that time goes by even quicker.
Mhm.
Or I would spend that time talking to my beloved, dearly departed mother. On the way. It could be about something or nothing at all, and everything in between, just to take my mind off of the mediocrity of the long commute and stuff. So I can take my mind someplace, but my body has to catch up. So if you can start with your mind by allowing something in, say like it's your favorite author just came out with their long awaited book on Audible, and it makes your drive a whole lot more interesting and like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen next? And before you know it, you're at the office. And so the time that I used to dread became a time where I could get fully immersed mentally going someplace else while I'm on my way to work.
Yeah, I definitely feel when I did commute, at one point I had a commute that was an hour and a half one way. Hour and a
I
half.
believe it.
Okay. Hour and a half. Did y'all hear me? But what I would do is I have playlists of songs
Hmm.
that I listen to, right? That help me when I'm driving. I've used this same playlist and they have to be your favorite songs. A song
Yep.
that you have on repeat, one song that you paint a whole room to. I've done that before, right?
Hmm.
So once you have that, and they need to be upbeat, no down, sad,
Hmm.
none of that. Upbeat stuff. I'm in the car, I'm dancing, right? Or I agree with you. I'll listen to Audible can I learn something new while I'm on my way? Since I got to sit in this traffic, I might as well learn
Mm-hmm.
something new. Is there a
Yep.
podcast, a show, a book, a something that I can listen?
Wake Up Happy Sis podcast, perhaps.
Amen, amen. This is a wonderful, wonderful accompaniment for you on any journey because we're giving you tips. We give you our own personal stories. We bring in fabulous guests like Donya to help us give you the best that we can give. So, do you have a
Absolutely.
tip, Donya, for how people can integrate self care
Yes,
in busy
yes,
schedule?
yes. So, can you really do things, all what you have mentioned, Leanne, from kids, husband, work, grocery, everything, if your tank is empty? It's impossible.
Right.
So, fill in your tank.
Yes.
So, the self care that you will put every week, like half an hour, whatever it is, it's not a choice. It's like you have to do that in order to be able to support others.
Yes.
Like they said in the plane, when you take the plane, they tell you put the oxygen mask on yourself before you help others.
That's
So
Yep.
right.
self-care is not like a luxury. It's not like something you will do whenever you have time. Self-care will fill your tank, and then you can do all the things.
Yes.
However, I want to say, filling your tank, like the energy to fill it energetically, it's not only about physical things you need to do. You need to do physical things, yes, maybe go for a walk, whatever you feel like. Self-care or listening, it's also mental, listening to an audio,
Mhm.
learning something new. So physical is important, mental is important, emotional is important. Maybe you need to sit with somebody that you love, maybe with child that you really appreciate, or a good friend, or your cat, whatever fills you emotionally. And then
Yes.
you can go also spiritually. Maybe you need
Mm-hmm.
meditation, five
Mhm.
minutes a day. Whatever feels right for you. Don't forget you have to diversify how you will fill in your energy.
That's
How
right.
many times do you sleep the whole night and you wake up in the morning still tired and overwhelmed? How
Hmm.
many times?
Been
I
there,
mean,
yes. Been there, done that.
I'm guilty of that. How many times okay, I speak of corporate as it was the worst scenario, but it's where I had some troubles with stress. But how many times do you wake up in the morning and put the alarm and stay in bed because it's impossible to confront the day?
Mhm.
So it's a vicious circle. If you don't fill your tank, you won't be able to do whatever you want to do.
That's right.
You won't have time for self-care, and so your tank is empty. And so you have to cut the pattern. You have to cut it and start by filling your tank emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, and then you can take care of others and do all the things that you dream of.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You just spoke my whole love language. So, one of the big things that I push is the 8 dimensions of wellness or of self care, right? So, there's 8 aspects that when we're thinking about our whole person or a whole person's wellness, you've got physical, you've got emotional, you've got social, environmental, spiritual, financial, occupational, and intellectual. So we think, oh, if I just go and take a shower or take a bath and get some candles, right? It's more than just what we think self care is. It's more than just the fun, cutesy things. Sometimes self care is hard. Sometimes it's scary. Sometimes it requires you to do the hard work of healing some of the pain, the hurt, the anger that you have that is causing you to feel like you have to be doormat to everybody and give everybody all that you have and leave none for yourself. You hear us say this on the show all the time. It's like the teacup and the saucer. We say this at least, I feel like we say this at least twice a month. Okay.
Go ahead. It's time.
What's in the saucer is for you. You are never supposed to give what's in that saucer. When you've replenished what's in that saucer, you're going to overflow into that. I mean, in from the cup into the saucer. The saucer is for everybody else. What's in the teacup is for you. That's what you keep so that you never get to that bone dry china and you're wondering why you go home and you don't have any energy to play with your kids. You're snapping at your spouse. You're unhappy. You're just living in survival mode and doing the same thing like you're on autopilot and you feel like you're a machine or a robot. That's because you've been giving out of your cup. You gave out the saucer. You done gave away the saucer. You gave away the cup. You gave away everything. And you saved nothing for you. We have to focus on us first. It is okay to put yourself first. It is imperative. It is a requirement because
Clap, clap.
you cannot take care of others if you don't first take care of yourself. And you shouldn't be doing that so you can be a better mother, so you can be a better wife. You have to do it so you can be a better Leanne, a better Sharonda, a better Donya. So that while I'm living my best life, everybody connected to me automatically benefits because I'm now going to be happier with myself, which means I'll be happier in my relationships and how I show up for my husband or wife, how I show up for my children, how I show up in my career or in my business. Imagine that horrible boss, the most horrible boss you've ever had. They might have a lot of things going on at home that you don't know they're bringing to work, and they haven't figured out how to be that right boss because they're not happy here, right? When we're happy here, it's going to radiate. Love radiates love, right? So we have to focus on that. And one of the other things that I feel is create your support system. Stop thinking that you have to go this road alone, right? If your company doesn't have an employee resource group, you can always create one, right? Sometimes we have to model the change that we want to see for others. And that's how you get that. Create your own support system at work, at home. Sometimes you may be married and you need a break from your husband or your wife. That's okay. That is a requirement. I could never be with somebody who's like, I don't have friends. Well, buddy, we can't date because I need to be away from you and I need to go be with my friends. Right? I need my personal space and my time, just like he should need his. So when I create my support system, I have multiple. I don't just have one. I'm in like 4 different accountability groups because I get different things from different groups of people, right? So who is your support system? Who are those people that you can go to that are going to lift you up, but they're also going to chuck you in the chest when you're wrong or when you're tripping? We don't do yes men and women here. We want people that are going to give us honesty. They're going to tell us when we're fucking up, excuse my language, but they're also going to lift us up and be like, do you know who you are, Leanne? Come on now. This is not you. We need that in our lives. So let me ask you guys this. Do you guys have different time tricks or hacks that you use to kind of help manage your time so that you can find time for self-care and wellness? Because people always think, oh, I just don't have enough time.
No, you're improperly managing your time. You're mismanaging your time if you don't have enough. Because if you can waste time doing stupid shit, then you can spend time doing stuff with intent and purpose.
Yes.
clap
It's very
myself.
important. Yeah, like you said, first is to know where you want to go in life. What
Yes.
is the thing that really attracts you? What is your bigger like picture? Because after that, when you put like 30 minutes here, 20 minutes here for your self-care, you know why you put it there. There's a reason. It's because you need to be fit, you need to be full, your tank needs to be full for a bigger mission. Otherwise, you don't really see the link. Why should I be actually really fit and so on? Maybe it's okay to live like this. What is your big dream? Where do you want to go in life? So it's like you have to see it as a must to have the self-care. And like you said, having peers. And it's very important to have a group of people where you share your dream, you share your objectives. So you're not afraid of them out because they will
Yes.
be accountable.
Mm-hmm.
You're accountable for them. And look for people that are like one step ahead of you, or they're in a place where you like to be as well. Don't take like advices from people in a place that you don't want to be there. So
Yeah.
be careful who. I don't say that you cannot have friends that they have struggles. You have family members that they have struggles. That's okay. But choose voluntarily towards your dreams and remind you that you have a mission to go to another level.
Yes, I love that. And as we wrap up the show today, this is this is my kind of final thought is look at what freedom and fulfillment means to you because it means different things to different people. What does true freedom mean to you? When you take those 8 dimensions of wellness, and I'm going to just prop the image up here so that you guys can see what they are and you can take a screenshot, right? But when you look at those 8 dimensions of self care
Yeah.
and look at what each of those mean to you and define what that freedom means for you. For me, freedom was not working for somebody else. Freedom was being able to choose when I engage, when I can work, whatever, right? That freedom may mean you need to make some radical shifts in your life and you need to start planning around that. So start with what does freedom and fulfillment look like for you and then start working towards that. So I know you got to go at 11, Donya. So why don't you tell us where people can find you?
So with my name just here, you will find me on Facebook. And I run free webinars on how to set aligned goals. If you are welcome anytime to join, I will be happy to support. And like you said, freedom for me, it's something that I found out after COVID. It was like the top of my core values. And this is how I decided to change my life, to live the freedom how I define it and not like others define it for me.
Yes, I love that. Well, make sure you guys go and you check out Donya on Facebook, connect with her. And we just thank you for being here with us today. We know you have to go. So thank you. You're welcome back
Thank
anytime.
you. It was a
Once
pleasure.
you're,
Yeah.
yes, once you're here, you are officially a part of the Wake Up Happy Sis family. And you're welcome to come back and join us anytime.
Thank you. I want to say to everybody, there's only one you. So take care of you and find what harmony means to you. There's no
Yes.
like one harmony or one balance. Each person is different. Just take the time to understand what that means to you and go for it.
Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you. That look,
Bye. Bye. Bye.
see you later. So today's been a good show, except for that glitch.
Yes.
We had a whole major glitch. The first like 15 minutes of the show didn't even play because
That's what I was saying. I saw that it still said schedule instead of live and
right,
the clock countdown.
it glitched off. I don't know what happened, but we got. But you know what we do here is we gonna,
Just
like I
keep it
said,
moving.
if it can go wrong, it will. But we keep it moving. Okay. Hey, Tony Wilborn. Thank you for joining us. Okay. We appreciate you for spending a little bit of your morning with us because you didn't have to be here with us today. Although, why would you not? Because
I'm just saying because why not?
we're the hottest thing going. We're the best thing since sliced bread, baby, and
And
everybody
it
loves.
keep you coming back, obviously.
Yes, that's the goal, right? That's the goal. So, if you could, what is your final thought for people when they're looking to have harmony in their personal and their professional life, trying to find that perfect thing? What is your, do you have one final word you'd like to leave with people?
They got you at bargain basement prices already with your experience, education, and all of the things that makes you you. Stop helping them hurt you by discounting yourself. The pandemic, hello. The pandemic helped me to realize, hey, I am good at what I do, and I can't stand the commuting. So I could work. I could actually be working instead of commuting, and my numbers were a whole lot better while I was at home. But the doggone management had a micromanagement issue, and just was like, yeah. So they didn't care that my numbers were better for me teleworking and
Yeah,
de-stressing by not commuting. They just wanted everybody in the office, and I kicked back against that. I was like, it's not that serious. And you could actually live with making a whole lot less by turning the pay decrease into the amount of peace that you never had when you were working for somebody else. Ask me how I know.
amen, amen. Because your body's going to break down if you keep going through that stress. And even if I give you all of the stress management techniques, all the best techniques in the world, when you know you wake up and you still have to go back into that toxic environment.
Girl,
My
my job made me sick. I'm just going to put it to you like that.
exactly. That's what I was about to say. When you know all the reactive things that I'm giving you and proactive things that I'm giving you doesn't help as much when you still have to go back into that toxic environment. So what you have to
Hey,
do is realize, when is it time for you to prioritize your health, and maybe
yep,
where you're at is where not where you're is not well, it's not where you're supposed to be. It's not where you're meant to,
absolutely.
it's not where the
I
Lord
had to lose my mother to find myself.
mm,
I say that to say her working 47 years and getting the honor to take care of her before she died gave me all of the perspective for me to wake up and be like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I was 50 years old. I am way too young chronologically to retire, but financially, I'm well within my means to be able to retire and not even miss that money. So you need to make a decision what's important to you.
that's right.
So for I don't have another 26 years to keep giving to an organization that keep on letting me know they don't give a damn about me.
I don't care. Yeah, that you're a number. If you died today, tomorrow they would be looking for your replacement. Now
Girl,
we
please, I trained my replacement. She already in place. Girl, bye.
now we realize,
That's y'all problem. That's not my problem.
because we realize that business has to keep moving, right? But
Hmm.
I also have the option to keep it moving and to find
Hmm.
where I'm supposed to be. And that might be that you take your skills, your knowledge,
Elsewhere.
and either you go and take it to another company, or hell, you build your own.
How about that? You
How about
made her
that?
much greater things. Clack and the clack clack.
Let me go. That was
Ah,
a big clack.
thank
Okay,
you.
double clack on that. They ain't ready for us. So that's the thing, right? If I can leave you with anything, okay, what I
Mhm.
want I want you to know is you have the power to truly create harmony in your life. I need you to
Absolutely.
embrace the journey of kind of finding your optimal balance. I don't think I ever want to be here because that means I'm dead. That's like flatline. There's always going to be ups and downs. Our heart moves in rhythm. It's not supposed to just be here. That's why when I say balance, I say your perfect balance because it may be here. It may be here, right? But find
Mhm.
that perfect balance between your professional and your personal wellness because you deserve to wake up happy, healed, and whole every single day. And to do that, you have
Absolutely.
to stay committed to your self care, stay committed to your wellness, to your happiness, to your freedom. And we're going to continue to ride this journey out together. We're with you. We got you. We ain't going nowhere. I would like to say, Sharonda, you're looking quite slim, though. I can see the
You
difference.
see it, girl.
I
You
know I
see it.
can totally
And because I'm living for me and I'm doing for me, I am. I'm definitely lighter than I was than when I was working, and I'm happier. I'm free to enjoy life and all that it has to offer because I decided to choose me this time
yes.
in my life.
And I'm working my way up there. I'm working my way up there. I am working my way up there, baby, because that's where
Come
we
on with
deserve
yourself
to be.
then.
Now tell the people how they can get in contact with you.
At this point, I don't even care if they get in contact with me because I've been crying about this for years now. Bookkeepingforlife.com. If you don't want help with your books, then fine, that's fine. But I'm still gonna be over here chilling, and my books are squared away. So,
She said, my books is good. My books is good. And
not
if
even caring, girl.
right, and if you want to learn more about what we do over here at Wake Up Happy Sis, the new things that we have coming up with our newly launching Wake Up Happy Sis Academy. Okay, it's gonna be so sexy over here. Y'all just
Oh,
you need to go and get on the list, okay, so that you're not going to miss out when I launch this Wake Up Happy Sis Academy because it's coming. It's sexy. It is empowering, and I'm building a community of women who support one another. We're going to be traveling together. We're going to be living, loving, and thriving together. We're going to be finding out what happiness is for us together. You need that in your life. So why not come over here with people you already know and love? Because you love us. You do.
a
You
whole
love
lot.
a whole lot. So, and we love you too. So with that, we're going to end this show. Um, take care of you, live your best life, and have the day you're meant to have because you have control over how you respond to everything that comes at you. Don't ever let it take you out, baby. We'll see you later.
Have a good one.
Bye. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Wake Up Happy Sis on Casey